Hello, anybody, somebody, nobody who may never see this. Is Siegfried Alexander Faust, the Whiff, come back some more Warhammer 40k. This is going to be after the points and data slate changes that happened recently, with me making updates to my Warhammer mods for all the models based on my subjective views on objective changes and data for what are some good lists for different armies. I am just finishing covering Chaos. I already covered Xenos, and now I'm going to be doing Imperium non-Space Marines. With that said, I'm going to include Grey Knights and Custodes because they're not getting Oath the moment. And I understand Death Watch, I'm including the other one. It just is what it is. Moving on. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. The Google Drive down below is updated with all these army lists, so you can just grab them along with the mods, as I said, on Steam Workshop. So they're all ready to go, plug and play as you see. Something I didn't cover before is all the auras. You can just turn those off if they're getting annoying. The bigger one is for Chaos Knights. I just put on their dread range for all of their effective range regarding battle shock, so it's just pre-measured. Along with, I did check that warp smiths are indeed not available for world eaters, unfortunately. Without further ado, let's go into it. I actually did change Imperial Guard right before I covered this. I was like, you know what, this is better, so I tried something else. Admech. I still have the fat thing of Breachers. It's very lame. It's still very good, even though I'm going Skitarii cohort. The increase to the cost for the Belisarius is such a pain. I think it's too much. They're good, especially in Skitarii cohort. However, outside of them, outside of Skitarii cohort, I wouldn't use them. And to really maximize it, you want to run call with them as well. So you get the reroll, and it's like, oh yeah, well they're gonna get heavy now as well. But it's like, yeah, you already could get the +1 to ballistic skill, so you already get heavy. You're hitting on 3s. Hitting on 2s is gonna be good as well. But my God, like you already were counting on sustained hits to really power you through, and it's their cost that really was the big money breaker dealer, not breaker for sure. But now it's a money breaker for the points. Ooh, my dog's snuggling next to me. They're just so expensive. I still think it's worth to run 2. I can justify 2 because of some stratagems, and then getting that amount within range of the bonuses. But it's just hard to really bounce that in. You could instead run more Rust Stalkers, and it wouldn't be the worst choice. Grey Knights, the Gay Knights, woo, from Titan. I have 2 things of Paladins, a brick of 10 of regular Strike Force Grey Knights. The 2/5 Paladins are going to block up the Brotherhoods. I don't have a Gunship or a Redeemer or Crusader to get these dudes into the map, down the lane, the mid lane, run down. But guess what? They can teleport all over the place. And the point is I want them to get into combat. I do want to drop the Venerable Dreadnought with the Purifiers with Castle and Crow, because that's a huge amount of damage. And then anything else that's nearby, icing on the cake. They struggle against anything that's T8 or above, though. Oh boy, they struggle. It's quite unfortunate. Or I should say like T12 or above, because then they're just they're wounding on 6s for like everything they have. The Grandmaster and Nemesis Dreadnought is like your only main solution, or dealing some mortals and stuff, but ever since they increased the other Dread Knight costs, anything that's big, like Knights, Grey Knights struggle with so hard. Guard. I've seen some different lists. I think this is a good one. Kind of boring in my opinion. Is what it is. You got some Punishers, Tank Commander with Rogel Dorns and Furnaces. You have Lord Solar, of course. 3 separate Armored Sentinels, each with their HK missile and las cannon and an engine seer to just follow the Dorn around. It'd be cool if you could just be like, let's go, buddy. Magador and Furnace, because guess what? I don't care that I hit on 4s or 5s my entire army. Now I always hit. Inferno Gun, blah. Ignores cover, so regular Space Marines are going from saving on a 3, no cover, saving on 5s. I'm going to hit, and it's probably going to delete the squad. Or at least delete a good chunk of them. And it's got good Overwatch coverage. And you can do some of these weird things in melee as well. It's not bad. And it's a tough cookie. T11, 18 wounds, saves on a 2-up, and you're probably going to get light cover because it's so massive with its battery power carriage that you can just charge these down the field. And it's like, come on, fight me, bro. See if I care. Big meme. Sisters. Hey, soul sisters. I ran some different models because I could. I didn't really care. One thing to note here is, when I say that, it's like, it's not that different. It's just an older version of the same model. It's legal play. Is illegal play similar, though, is I couldn't find, I don't even know if it's released yet. I don't think the model exists for public use. I could be mistaken. The Kenneth with jump pack, so I just grabbed a similar looking one from the Seraphim. So that'll do. It's honestly pretty close to the model, unfortunately, which kind of feels bad for IRL. Moving on, 2 penitent engines were added. The rest is kind of the same. I think, I don't remember if I removed a Retributor or not since I last showed the video, if I had 3 of them or just the 2 with immolators. I could have, I added a squad of Dominions with the Artifice Bolter. You could do a Rhino, a Reno, or something else with them, some of the changes. I don't think it's that necessary. You put in a lot of eggs to a basket. It's a pretty decent basket and pretty good eggs, but they're not the highlight of this army. It does make me miss Blessed Bolts for 9th and a bunch of cool things for Sisters and other armies that make me think the 9th was better in almost every way. Yes, it had its problems, but so does 10th, and people don't want to acknowledge that. Smaller games, meh. Custodes, Venatari spam, because why not? However, out of these 3 blocks of 6, one of them in each block has a buckler. Reason? D3 weapons. Because I have a buckler, he technically gets +1 wound. Anything for any of these videos that's like some stuff like that, Yellowscribe, because they did it in like 1 or 2 days, which was very impressive across all factions. They just didn't do auto scripting for enhancements. So you have to manually remember, oh, this dude is supposed to have an extra wound. Like, let me just pull it up right here. It says 4 wounds on the buckler guy, but if I hover over the buckler guy, it's still 3 wounds. It's kind of weird. It's because it didn't script it over. And again, it tells you the rule for why he's supposed to have 4 wounds. So that way, if your opponent has something that's D3, you can just focus on the buckler dude first, and you could take 2 model losses as just the one guy. If you really want to be smarter, I honestly think it's worth it to run 2 bucklers, because then against D3 weapons, or flat 3 weapons, it's as if you would lose 4 dudes for 2. So yeah, you can run 2 or 3. I wouldn't run them any more than 3. Even 2 feels like a weird balancing point. I just like the 1, because maybe they don't have that weapon, and then who cares? Because if they have damage 2 flat weapons, it's no different. And you might as well just bring more lances because they're so much better against a variety of targets. Get that +1 to wound because it's literally lance. 3 Caldas Grav tanks. Yes, you could run more infantry custodes, get some other stuff in here to compensate. Boy, I just don't think, unfortunately, that there's currently enough value in their list outside the Venataris that can deal with big targets. Like, they're the only ones that can really punish as custodians as big targets. They can do it a bit better, in my opinion, than Grey Knights, but man, they still struggle, which is most unfortunate. I got some Wardens with Valerian, actually, not, what is it, a Shield Captain or Trajan, because points. Can't afford it. And he's cheaper, which is nice. And he actually gives them your opponent -1 AP when in fight phase, which is nice. Where pulled it up. Yeah, every time a melee attack goes against them, worsen the AP by 1. And he can give once per battle 1 roll he makes an auto 6 that counts as unmodified. So you can get some bonuses there. Pretty cool. And lastly, Imperial Knights. Good old Canis Rex, because the rules change for Data Slate and commentary in regards to reduction. It's no longer just battle tactics, so that gives you more options along with making some cheap or free strats. Very nice. Him just being a menace with that. Let me pull up the rule. I think it's very small here. Yeah, Legendary Free Blade. Once per turn, you can do that. Very nice as a commander option. 2 Knight Paladins, and 5 Warglaves. And that's honestly it. I feel like you could do some more changes with Sisters. I didn't really talk about it, but I do have the Hospitaller with Big Booty Junie and the Sacrosaints. Just try to keep staying alive. Just make them really tanky. You could do some other stuff in the list as well. I'm just a stick in the mud. I wish I had more models and more points to work with so I could do more things. I wish there was a rule of 2 in a lot of factions so you don't feel the need to spam 3 really good thing because they cover all the options you need. And in the meantime, I feel like some other lists need some other options to deal with stuff that they really have no other choice. Like if you don't run Venetaris or the Kaldis Graph Tank, specifically with the Blast Cannon profile weapon, you are fucked if you fight Knights. Like you lose. It's so one-sided. But que sera. No reason to beat a dead horse. Anyway, I'm going to be doing the last video now. It's going to be regular Imperium Space Marines. If you like this content, please again, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Always makes my day because I do this for fun. And so when someone takes time out of their day to let me know they're appreciative or offer constructive feedback, it's always great. And if you do provide feedback, it has to be constructive. If you just say, no, you're wrong, I might delete it. Or I'll just laugh and keep it. I don't know. But I do want to always get better at the game. I always find things, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that, or oh, that could be better. And it can help other people in the community too. Be like, oh, wow, that is a pretty good idea. So, yeah, stick around if you want to watch the last episode for this update. Take care and game on, gamers. Bye.